Welcome back to another explainer. Today we're taking a magnifying glass to the anatomy of desperation, deconstructing a survival narrative. We're going to break down exactly how a story of absolute sheer desperation can be communicated in, well, the blink of an eye. We aren't looking at 100 pages of text today. Instead, we're doing a deep visual deconstruction of just one really powerful artifact. So get ready, because we're about to see how scale, typography, and raw data are completely weaponized to make you feel overwhelmed.
Okay, let's dive into this literally. Imagine dropping right into that freezing, relentless water. Notice the sheer mood and the overwhelming visual weight established here before we even read a single word. The entire frame is just dominated by these deep, threatening dark blue tones. The ocean isn't just a background setting, it's an active, churning antagonist. It feels heavy, you know? It feels cold. And right in the middle of it all, almost swallowed entirely by the shifting geometry of the waves, is this solitary, fragile wooden vessel. Your brain just immediately registers that whatever is happening here, the odds are fundamentally broken.
Which brings us to the core question driving our explainer today. How does a single image convey a massive, high-stakes survival narrative with exactly 16 words? Seriously, think about that economy of language for a second. In an era where we're constantly bombarded by information and endless scrolling, this artifact manages to stop you dead in your tracks using barely over a dozen words. It's a really unique challenge. We're going to look at how this incredibly limited text works in tandem with stark visual contrast to build a totally suffocating level of tension.
To understand how this works, we really have to analyze the visual composition, specifically the immense physical contrast in this environment. So on one side of the equation, you have the vast, turbulent dark blue ocean, an environment that covers over 70% of our planet, completely dwarfing the other side, the solitary, fragile wooden vessel. It's absolutely a masterclass in scale. By dedicating so much space to the imposing, churning sea, the composition shrinks the boat not just physically, but psychologically. You don't just see that the boat is small, you literally feel its profound vulnerability against this indifferent force of nature.
And the creator makes sure we don't miss the point. Look at how they isolate this idea in stark yellow typography right in the middle of the frame, in this tiny boat. Now, why yellow? Well, because yellow is the universal color of a hazard, right? It's a warning. Against those deep sea blues, it practically vibrates. This specific phrase forces us to focus purely on the immediate physical vulnerability depicted in our source. It completely strips away any romanticized notion of a grand naval voyage. Actually, scratch that. It isn't a ship, it isn't a cruiser, it is a tiny boat, and you are in it.
Notice the specific placement of the boat here. It's not just floating on a calm swell. It's caught right at the crux of these massive, frothing whitecaps. The sea looks like it's literally folding in on the vessel. And this brilliantly illustrates how the imagery sets up a dynamic where survival doesn't just look difficult, it looks structurally impossible. The boat is framed as a momentary survivor, always just one crashing wave away from total erasure.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is when the raw data hits us, the number 800 towering at the top in this massive white font. This isn't just a number. It represents a monumental geographic distance. To put that into perspective, when you're moving at highway speeds in a car, 800 miles is a really long day of driving. But when you're in a tiny, fragile wooden boat battling the immense swells we just looked at, 800 miles is an absolute eternity. At typical rowing speeds, that is roughly a month of nonstop, agonizing physical labor. It transforms the physical struggle of the waves into this crazy marathon of endurance.
But look incredibly closely at the text right next to that 800. The bold, capitalized white text reads MIE, completely dropping the L and the S from the word miles. This is fascinating. This raw internet-native typo almost acts like a desperate shout. There was clearly no time for spell check in this survival scenario. It gives the entire piece this gritty, visceral texture that a perfectly spelled graphic might actually lack. It adds a super authentic, urgent layer to the whole composition.
Now, see how this builds into the next crucial piece of data? Immediately after hitting you with the monumental distance of 800 miles, the narrative throws a dramatic numeric juxtaposition at you, the number 28. We shift instantly from the scale of the obstacle to the scale of the stakes. 800 is the environment, but 28 is the humanity. This number instantly grounds the massive, churning ocean into a highly specific human tragedy. It's not some nameless, faceless, abstract scenario anymore. It is precisely 28 lives hanging in the balance.
Look at how that number is contextualized. Back in that hazard yellow text, we see the phrase, "to save 28 men."
The specific phrasing acts as a massive emotional trigger. It beautifully and tragically contrasts the monumental distance of 800 miles with the profound fragility of 28 men. It also gives the tiny boat a real purpose. The people in that vessel aren't just surviving for themselves, they're carrying the fate of 28 other human beings. So the physical weight of the ocean is suddenly matched by the crushing psychological weight of this rescue mission.
So we've established the scale, the distance, and the human stakes. But to really grasp the depth of this narrative, we need to shift gears toward technological isolation. Ask yourself, what does it actually mean to navigate this environment without modern tools? Today, we can barely drive to a new coffee shop without a satellite guiding us, right? Imagine sitting in that tiny boat, surrounded by those terrifying swells, with an 800-mile journey ahead, and looking down at your hands to find absolutely nothing to guide you, just the stars and the swell of the sea.
This is addressed directly at the very bottom of the frame with stark white text, "No GPS." Notice how it sits way down at the bottom, totally isolated from the rest of the numbers, almost like it's sinking into the dark water itself. By explicitly stating the absence of modern technology, the creator amplifies the feeling of absolute isolation. It totally strips away the invisible safety net that we all implicitly rely on in the modern world. You aren't a dot on a digital map anymore. You are completely untethered from the rest of humanity.
Which brings us to the haunting final line, the true emotional climax of this entire narrative. No GPS, no hope. Just 5 words, but man, they unpack absolute devastating despair. It explicitly links the lack of technological certainty to the complete absence of hope itself. It's a fatalistic equation. It basically argues that without a satellite telling you where you are, the ocean is simply too vast, the boat is too tiny, and those 800 miles are simply too far. It's a really chilling conclusion to the visual journey we've just taken.
So, the crucial point is, when you pull back and look at the artifact in its entirety, you realize it's basically a perfectly engineered delivery system for anxiety. Think about how these elements stack up. You've got the massive visual scale of the churning ocean, the raw, isolated data of 800 miles and 28 men, the unpolished urgency of that desperate typo, and finally, the chilling realization of zero technological assistance. All these disparate elements combine into one massive, unforgettable narrative of desperation. It communicates a saga that would take a novelist hundreds of pages to describe, all in a single glance.
Which leaves us with a final, provocative thought to chew on today. Can hope truly exist in the absolute absence of technology and certainty? The image declares no GPS, no hope. But is that really true? Or is human resilience something that kicks in precisely when the screens go dark and the odds become impossible? Let's just linger on that haunting mood for a second. Imagine the freezing spray on your face, the 800 miles stretching out before you, and ask yourself, what would you do in that tiny boat? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning what you see and keep learning. Catch you next time.